So now we're going to see how we're going to use a script that will download any file from a certain URL and execute that file. Why do I like this script? Now, this is because it's actually a really simple script. It's only 2 lines. Well, 2 lines to be executed. Secondly, because you can download any file, so you can create any file using any framework that you want. You can create any backdoor, any kind of backdoor that you like. You can use a virus, you can use a Trojan, you can use a keylogger, you can just use a normal exe, you can basically use any file that you want, and then you will execute that file. And if you don't, you can just remove the line that executes the file, and then you can just get it to download that file to the target machine. So this will happen simply by connecting your Android device to the target machine using USB. You will download a certain file and execute it. So first of all, let's see what is the script that I'm going to be using that will do that. So the first line is just a delay, so it's going to wait for 2 seconds before it does anything. Then the second line right here is going to show the run box. The third line is a delay of 100 milliseconds just to wait until the run box shows up. Once we have the run, we're going to type in a PowerShell command, which will basically download a file that is stored on this URL. So this is just an IP address of a machine that's running a web server on my network. So this can be any URL where your file is stored. So I basically have a file called natb on this Kali machine right here. So this Kali machine, if I go to my var www, I have a file called natb.exe, which is basically just a backdoor created using vel evasion, as we saw in the previous video. So I just have that file there, nothing too special about it, just a backdoor. It's stored, and this is the IP address of that machine, and the file is called natb.exe. So it's going to download this file, it's going to rename it to b.exe. So you can replace this with any URL that you want, and it has to be a direct download URL for where your file is stored. So it's going to rename it to b.exe. Then it's going to wait for half a second. It's going to execute the run box again. It's going to wait for 100 milliseconds, and then it's going to run this. So if you don't want to run it, you can just remove this last line right here, and it's just not going to run it. And if you want to change the name where it's stored, you can change it here. So for example, if you're downloading something that's not an exe, for example, if it was a zip, then you just type .zip here. So you're going to have to change the URL for where you're going to save your exe or your file to be downloaded. And you would change this if you want. This will just run the file. So if you don't want the file to be run, you wouldn't change this. And make sure that b.exe is the same here. So if you rename it here, you have to rename it there. So that's the file I'm going to be using, and I've already copied it. So I'm just going to go back to my Kali menu. I'm going to go to my HID DocuScript attack, and you just paste your file here. So you'll paste the rubber DocuScript right here, and then you can click on convert. So I'm going to click on update. It's already updated. Then I'm going to click on convert, and that will basically convert it to a HID keyboard attack format. So you can see in the preview here, that's what it looks like when it's converted. And I'm just going to go back here to my Kali menu, and I have my listener here already, like as I showed you in my previous video. So I'm just going to do an exploit on it, and now it's listening. So I'm going to come here. I'm basically just going to type on these 3 little dots and execute attack, and we'll go to our Windows. And as you can see now, the attack is actually, the command is being written automatically, so I'm not writing anything. And that's what I like about it. It's only 2 commands. This is the first command to download the file, and then the second command to run it, and that's it. We have an interpreter show right here. So that's why it's really cool. That's why I like doing this particular script, because it's better. Like, there are scripts that will basically give you a reverse shell, but they need to run more commands. With this, it's actually just really quick 2 commands. And the speed of the command being typed depends on your processor. Now, I'm using the 2012 Nexus 7, so it's a bit slow, and I have a lot of things running on it in order to mirror the image and all that. So for you, it might be a lot quicker than what happened to me. There's one more thing that I want to show you, and that is the already made payloads that you can use with the rubber ducky. I didn't show it to you in the previous video, so I'm gonna put all this in the resources. So I'm just gonna show you here all the payloads that you can get. So that's all the payloads that you can get. So there's a lot of payloads I can give you. You can get a basic terminal command in Ubuntu. There is OS X payloads. There are payloads that allow you to download stuff. There's payloads that allow you to upload stuff. All you have to do is click on the payload, right click it, copy it, and paste it in NetHunter, convert, and execute. Same way I just did it there. And the payload I just used, I'm gonna put it in the resources for you to download and to use and test it on your own machines.